On a bright Saturday afternoon, the mall was alive with the usual buzz of weekend shoppers. Families strolled past stores, teenagers laughed in groups, and the smell of popcorn and fresh pretzels filled the air. It was the kind of place where people came to escape the day-to-day, to shop or just hang out with friends. Security cameras watched quietly from every corner, their lenses silently keeping track of everything happening below. The mall security team worked in the background, their presence calm but steady, making sure everyone stayed safe. Among them was Officer Daniels, the mall cop. He had been on the job for years and knew the mall like the back of his hand. His routine was simple: walk the halls, keep an eye out for trouble, and respond when needed. His face was serious but not harsh, and his steps were measured as he moved through the crowds. He was used to spotting the small details others missed, always alert to anything unusual. Lately there had been talk around the mall about a particular hoodie. It wasn't just any hoodie, it was a popular brand that had recently been reported stolen from one of the stores. The staff warned the security team to watch for anyone wearing it. The hoodie had almost become a symbol of something more than just clothes. It was linked to suspicion and trouble. That afternoon, as Officer Daniels patrolled near the food court, his eyes caught sight of a young black teen wearing that very hoodie. Something about the way the teen moved made Daniels pause. The quiet buzz of the mall seemed to fade for a moment as tension quietly settled in. This was the moment everything changed. Officer Daniels moved quickly but carefully toward the teen. His eyes were sharp, his voice firm when he spoke. "Hey you, that's the hoodie reported stolen. Where did you get it?" The teen froze for a moment, his heart pounding so loudly he thought the mall might hear it too. He looked up, trying to keep his voice steady. I bought it, from a store down the street." His words came out fast, but his hands shook a little. Inside he felt a storm of emotions swirling. Fear, because he didn't know what would happen next, confusion because he had done nothing wrong, and frustration because he felt unfairly targeted. He wasn't sure if Officer Daniels believed him. The mall around them seemed to grow quieter, the chatter from shoppers dying down into a low murmur. Some stopped what they were doing, watching the scene unfold. A few whispered to each other, their eyes flicking between the teen and the officer. The air felt thick with tension. "Do you have a receipt?" Daniels asked, his tone sharp, and not giving much room for explanation. The teen reached into his pocket but came out empty-handed. He had paid with cash and lost the receipt, but he didn't say that. He knew it wouldn't help. Officer Daniels' jaw tightened. "We've had reports of thefts involving this hoodie. Your story isn't adding up." His hand moved to his belt, grabbing the handcuffs. "I'm going to have to detain you until we figure this out." The teen's eyes widened, panic creeping in. "Wait, no, you're making a mistake. I didn't steal anything." But the officer was already moving, gently but firmly pulling the teen's hands behind his back. The metal cuffs clicked shut, cold and heavy. The teen swallowed hard, the weight of the moment crashing down on him. Around them the crowd grew silent. Some faces showed shock, others sympathy. Daniels led the teen away from the busy walkway toward a small security office nearby. Each step felt like a lifetime for the teen, who kept his head low but couldn't stop the tears forming in his eyes. This wasn't just about the hoodie anymore. It was about being seen, judged, and accused without a chance to prove the truth. The mall, once full of life, felt cold and empty as the door shut behind them. The hoodie wasn't just any piece of clothing. Just a few days before, it had been stolen from one of the mall's most popular stores, a small boutique, known for its limited edition clothes. The shop owner had reported it missing after a customer noticed it gone from the display. The store's staff had quickly told mall security to be on the lookout for anyone wearing it. Because of this, Officer Daniels was on high alert. The hoodie was bright, easy to recognize, and now carried a kind of warning sign. Anyone wearing it could be someone trying to sneak stolen goods through the mall. To Daniels, the hoodie wasn't just a hoodie anymore. It was a symbol of trouble, a red flag. But that afternoon, when Daniels saw the black teen wearing the hoodie, his mind filled with assumptions. Without knowing the full story, he linked the hoodie to the theft, and the teen to suspicion. The officer's judgment became clouded, shaped by quick thoughts and the pressure to keep the mall safe. Instead of asking more questions or giving the teen a chance to explain, Daniels let his doubts take control. The teen tried hard to tell his side. "It's my hoodie," he said, voice shaking but clear. "I bought it from a store in my neighborhood. I wasn't trying to cause any trouble. I even asked someone to borrow it once." But his words seemed to bounce off the officer's armor of suspicion. To Daniels, it was just a story, one that didn't match the warning he'd received. He didn't listen carefully. Instead, he held on to his initial belief that the teen was hiding something. The hoodie became a symbol of guilt, before innocence was even considered. That moment showed how powerful assumptions can be, how they can hurt someone, before the truth has a chance to come out. And for the teen, that hoodie was not a mark of crime, but part of his life. Still, in that instant, it became a source of fear and misunderstanding. ChatGPT said, just as Officer Daniels was finishing the paperwork to hold the teen, a woman hurried toward the security office, her face tight with worry. She looked around quickly, then called out, "Excuse me, I think you have my hoodie." Her voice was steady but urgent. Daniels glanced up, his confident expression flickering with surprise. The woman stepped closer, holding a small crumpled receipt in one hand and the hoodie's tag in the other. "I lost this earlier today," she explained, showing the receipt with the exact time of purchase from a different store outside the mall. "I've been looking all over for it." She carefully lifted the hoodie to show a tiny ID tag sewn inside the collar, her name and phone number clearly printed. The proof was clear. Daniels looked from the woman to the teen, the certainty in his eyes now replaced by doubt. The teen stayed quiet, relief slowly washing over him, but mixed with exhaustion. After a tense moment, Daniels reached for the handcuffs and unclipped them. "You're free to go," he said quietly, avoiding eye contact. Though the teen was no longer in custody, the damage had already been done. His shoulders sagged, and his eyes held a tired sadness. The humiliation of being accused wrongly weighed heavily on him. Around them, a few shoppers who had gathered nearby exchanged looks, some with sympathy, others with quiet discomfort. No one spoke up, but the silence felt loud. The woman nodded apologetically toward the teen. "I'm so sorry you had to go through this," she said softly. "I hope this helps clear things up." Daniels rubbed the back of his neck, his voice low. "We acted on the information we had, but clearly there was a mistake." The words sounded hollow even to him. The teen took a deep breath and turned away, moving slowly toward the mall exit. The crowd began to disperse, but the moment hung in the air like a heavy cloud, a reminder of how quickly assumptions can change lives. As the doors closed behind him, the mall seemed to return to normal. But the memory of that afternoon, the accusation, the fear, and the unexpected arrival of the real owner, stayed with everyone who had seen it. After leaving the mall, the teen's emotions crashed down on him like a wave. The relief of being free was swallowed quickly by a deep sadness. He felt humiliated, not just because of the handcuffs or the accusations, but because of what it all meant. Being treated like a criminal, when he had done nothing wrong, left a mark deeper than any bruise. Anger bubbled inside him, mixed with frustration at the unfairness of the situation. He wondered why someone had judged him so quickly, without listening or trying to understand. At the same time, there was a quiet hurt, a feeling that no matter how much he explained, some people would always see him through a lens of suspicion. He thought about the looks from the shoppers, the silence that followed his arrest, and how powerless he had felt in that moment. It wasn't just about the hoodie anymore, it was about being seen as less than he truly was. The experience left a shadow over his day, and even after going home, the sting stayed with him. Meanwhile, Officer Daniels sat alone in his small security office, the weight of the mistake pressing on his chest. He replayed the afternoon over and over in his mind, the quick judgment, the assumptions made without proof, they haunted him. For the first time, he felt the sharp sting of regret and shame. Maybe he had let his biases take control, letting fear and suspicion cloud his decision. The realization was uncomfortable, but it was there. He knew he had failed the teen that day. Mall management soon reviewed the incident carefully. They called meetings with the security team, promising to improve training, especially on how to handle situations without rushing to conclusions. They spoke about bias and fairness, emphasizing respect for every person who walked through the mall's doors. It was a step forward, but for the teen it was little comfort. The incident left a lasting mark on him. Trust became harder to build. He found himself watching his back more, feeling wary in places he used to feel safe. The damage wasn't just to his day or his reputation, it was to how he saw the world, and how the world saw him. Moving forward wouldn't be easy, but despite the hurt, the teen carried a quiet strength inside. The experience became a difficult lesson about unfairness and courage. Though shaken, he was determined not to let one moment define him. The hoodie, once a symbol of suspicion, would never truly hold his story. This story reminds us how dangerous it can be to judge someone based only on what they look like or what they're wearing. A simple hoodie, something that should mean nothing more than style or comfort, became a symbol of suspicion, and it almost cost an innocent young person his freedom and dignity. When people rush to conclusions, without taking the time to listen or understand, the consequences can be painful and lasting. The teen in this story was treated unfairly, not because of anything he did, but because of assumptions made too quickly. That kind of judgment can leave scars that don't fade easily. It's important to remember that every person deserves respect and fairness, no matter their age, race, or what they wear. Before jumping to conclusions, we owe it to each other to pause, ask questions, and truly listen. So the next time someone seems different, or their appearance catches your eye, think about the full story behind them. What might you be missing? How could a quick assumption change someone's life in a way you never expected? In the end, this is more than just a story about a hoodie. It's a reminder that fairness, kindness, and understanding should always come first. And it's a question we should all ask ourselves: are we seeing people clearly, or only through the lens of our own assumptions?